Greetings to you all and welcome to this series of talk. This is a series of talks which have been planned out to give clarity about the spirituality of India. India has a great spiritual heritage which dates back from 3000 BC to the present times, and because of certain kinds of situations and circumstances, there is lack of clarity for people to understand in a sequential form how the spirituality developed in this subcontinent, who are the stakeholders, who are the big players in this, and what is the sequence of events. So, we are going to see this encapsulated form of topics which are normally sought after, which people want to understand and know, so that instead of a long series of talks, this is going to be more sessions of topics which are of interest to people, so that we are able to see also how the spirituality has developed and how this has impacted the different conditions that we see in the subcontinent in these days. So, we are going to look at issues like what is the difference between Hinduism and Hindu religion, for instance. Then we would probably see what is the spirituality of the Tamil people, the ancient Tamil people, proto-Tamils as they are called. How did the Aryans come in? What is the spirituality or religion that they brought in with them? So, similar topics have been presented, will be presented in this series, so that each one of them would be a standalone, would be so that it is understandable if you see this. And when you see these series one after another also, you will understand a sequence, so that there is more clarity and we are able to appreciate the different nuances of spirituality. This is not to highlight or project any kind of special kind of spirituality of any group. It is just to present things as they are, so that we are able to appreciate how things happened and understand the reasons for what it is that we see around us. Why is it that we see the poverty among people who are only dark skinned? Why is it we are not able to see poverty among the fair skinned people, for instance? These are subtle nuances in the subcontinent which needs explanations, and this is what this series is going to objectively look at and throw light at different aspects. In this section, we are going to look at and study how the difference between Hindu religions and Hinduism is seen. Most times people use the terms of Hinduism and Hindu religion and Hindu without really understanding the differences. There are quite a lot of difference between these three words. Now, when we look at the word Hindu, it actually develops from id, or the Tamil word id, or to flow, to which S and N is added and it becomes Sindh, and in the Tamil word Sindhu Nadi forms from there. Now, Sindhu Nadi or the Indus River flows up north of India in Pakistan, and you get the state of Sindh there. So, when the Persians come into India, they drop the S and it becomes Hindu. and later on a H is added and it becomes Hindu. Now, so when you say the word Hindu, you are actually looking at a geographic section, a geographic identity of people who lived in the proximity of the Indus River, which is from Indus right down to the south of India. So, when you say Hindu or Sindhu or Hindu, it is a geographical term, and when the Mughals came, they added the term Stan or Hindustan, very similar to Pakistan or Afghanistan, and made it as Hindustan. So, when you say Hindu, it really means a geographical location of people who lived around the Indus River. Now, when you look at Hindu religions, India has the privilege of giving birth to a number of religions, starting with Buddhism and Jainism in 500s and 6th century. Then later on you have Saivite and Vaishnavite religions which come in AD, and then after that we have Sikhism, which is a combination of Islam and Vaishnavites. So, we have all these religions which are birthed in India, and collectively we can call them as Hindu religions. So, right from Buddhism, Jainism to Saivite, Vaishnavite, Sikhism, all these are Hindu religions. So, when you say Hindu religions, we are talking about religions which were birthed in this subcontinent. Now, when we talk of Hinduism, this is a term which was coined in the 18th century by the British when they were ruling India. How it began is they wanted, for the Christians they had the Bible to judge by, and for the Muslims they had the Quran. So, for the non-Christians and the non-Muslims, when the British were looking for a code of law, they were given the Manusmriti, which got translated by Sir William Jones, who was the chief jurist in Calcutta. And when it got translated, the book, then the whole thing of Hinduism got evolved. So, this name Hinduism actually came in much later in the 18th century. And Hinduism basically talks about division of people, segregating them as Purohits, who are the top class. Then you have the Kshatriyas, who are the rulers. Then you have the Vaishyas, who are the business people, and then the Shudras, who are the slaves or the dark skinned people. The first three categories are fair skinned, that is the Purohit or the priest, the business class or the ruling class or the Kshatriyas, and the Vaishyas. These three are fair skinned. The third are the Shudras or the slaves, who are dark skinned. So, dividing people into these four castes is a fundamental aspect of Hinduism, and so you could see the great difference between these three terminologies of Hindu, Hindu religion and Hinduism. In present times, we are confronted with the situation where the people of this land are called Hindus, and when you say Hindu, I would reckon that everyone who is in this subcontinent is a Hindu, geographically speaking, because we are all coming from one section of the subcontinent, that is from the land around the Indus River, and from ancient times it has been not only Indus River but just right up to the tip of South India. So, we are all Hindus in a way, and there is nothing wrong in looking at this term as being called as a Hindu. But of course, when you say Hinduism or Hindutva as it is referred to now, there you are really classifying people in terms of what they are, and it is said that Hindutva or Hinduism is a way of life, and it stops there, but it is a way of life of dividing people into different castes, the main 4 castes which was mentioned earlier. So, when you say Hindutva, it really means a way of life of dividing people into different caste systems and looking at each one in their framework of how they function within that caste structure of a priest or a Prohit or a Brahmin as you call now, or a ruler or a Kshatriya and or a Vaishya or business person, and the last 4th as the the Shudras. Now, there is also the 5th, which is the outcast, which is not doesn't come under the 4 castes of Hindutva. So, when you say Hindu religion, then we are immediately talking about the religions which sprouted from this land. So, in present context, this clarity would really be useful, so that we do not get confused, or we use the terms without understanding the depth of it. When we say India is going to be a Hindu nation, or India is a what do you call it, as Hinduism is the religion of India. Now, these are terms, unless you understand the depth of this, we will not be able to clearly fathom the what is being mentioned. So, if we are called as India is we are all Hindus, it is perfectly okay. We are all people who are living in a geographical proximity. But when we say it is a Hinduism, then we are talking of a different nomenclature there. And when you say Hindu religion, then there are different religions which came in here, and people who follow each of these religions are all separate. So, this clarity in these times would give us a greater perspective of what really is being understood, or what we are trying to what is it that we are expected to understand, so that we do not get confused, or we do not speculate or misunderstand terms. So, with this clarity, I think we will be able to appreciate and use the right terms in the right context, and be more clear in what we are trying to convey. So, I hope this clarity which was given to these 3 words would help people to use them more judiciously, instead of just using the word Hindu or Hinduism out of context into what they are trying to refer into. So, I hope this would be of use to people to really separate these 3 words and use them in the proper context. Thank you for listening and hope this was useful to you all.